You're listening to Edge Radio TV. The views and opinions expressed in this program are that of the hosts or guests, and not the Edge Radio Network or its advertisers or affiliates.
Hey guys, welcome back to Sex on the Edge with Jen and Hen. I am Jennifer Reeves.
And I'm Hendrik Scott, and we're here to delight and entertain you with our sexual health topics.
Yes, we are two licensed marriage and family therapists and certified sex therapists in the Houston, Texas area.
Yeah.
And so we know our shit. We know what we're talking about. So hang out with us for the next hour and learn some shit about yourself. If you haven't been watching our show, we've hit 6 months officially.
We have.
It's exciting. And we've had quite a few guests on, so we wanted to give a little bit of an update because they've got some cool shit going on.
They do, I know.
Yeah. So I'll start with Yumi Grigsby. She was on a few weeks ago talking about how dismissive the healthcare system is of women, and specifically Black women and all of that. Well, she just did a spot on one of our sister shows with How You Livin'. So check her out. That was on Monday. Oh gosh, what is it? June 14th. So go look up How You Live and check out Yumi. And she also, she has Empowered Health, which we talked about on our show. But she also has a story in the new Chicken Soup for the Soul. Black women share their truth in 101 stories of love, courage, and hope. So check out that book. Check out her story in there. It's amazing. So
we've been telling all of our clients about her.
Oh my God. Yeah. So many of my clients and my supervisees and everything else, and all of them are like, yeah, I want to read that. So hopefully she's going to get to see some financial gain from us shooting people her way.
No, and then we had, I mean, we know I'm a big fangirl over Caress and Andy.
You are.
I love Caress and Andy. I saw them post the other day, and they were also guests. They are a biracial couple. So they celebrate Loving versus Virginia, which is what overturned the ban on interracial marriage.
Yeah.
And they celebrate it on June 13th every year. And, like, he took her out to dinner and, like, treated her. I was like, oh.
They're just one of the cutest couples ever.
I love them.
We need to have them back sometime. Like, they're amazing. We love them.
Yeah, they're like, and they're up north. Now they're up in, like, driving in their van.
Oh, that's right. Van life.
Now they're, I think, up in, like, Michigan or, whatever states are up there. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'll be going to Minnesota and Massachusetts, so that's up north somewhere, right?
They're one of the M's.
Yeah,
or they're driving through the M's.
Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota. Not Miami. That's a city in Florida.
Oh, and then Janelle.
Oh my God, Janelle Marie Pierce, dude. Well, one, she had her baby. I think we've told people that. Oh my God, her baby's super cute. She's super out there, but still. Anyway, but she had some exciting thing happen to her a few weeks ago. We were going to share, but we ended up having to cancel, and then we had to bring it back. But Janelle Marie Pierce, who is part of the STI Project, there is a website called She Vibe that creates superhero sex education cards, and they put Janelle Marie Pierce on one of them. So we're going to get that.
It is badass.
Look at this shit. Like, this is so amazing.
Like, how do we get on these cards?
That's a new goal. New goal.
I didn't even know this was a goal.
Me neither. Not until she posted that. And then the backside of it, like, gives some of her stats like you would a card.
I mean,
like,
what a great person to do this for.
Yes.
All of it was accurate. Like, they nailed it.
They nailed it. They nailed the picture. They nailed the details. Like, they nailed the information. And I checked out some of their other, like, superhero cards, and they look super cool. Like, it is definitely...
I liked hers the best, though.
I mean, obviously, I concur. But, I mean, we've just had some great people on this show. And next week, Tyler will be back. So that's exciting.
Tyler's still doing Tyler. That's the update on that.
Lainey's still doing Lainey, and Ann is still doing Ann. But they will all also be back at some point. But Tyler will be back next week for our super fun Pride special.
Woo!
I'm gonna love that episode because I'm really gonna just let my hetero self sit back and learn some shit. 'Cause that's where I roll in this whole area.
It's gonna just be gay.
Yeah.
Just rainbow everything. I'm just gonna bring everything and we'll do.
Be prepared. We're gonna vomit rainbow all over this stage.
Last Pride was one of the most depressing prides of all time.
Was that the one that you did the dress and the saran wrap thing or whatever you did?
Oh, that okay. Well, now we had to bring that up. Thanks.
I'm sorry. We will not be sharing pictures of this.
No. So that was not a Pride event. That was a pandemic thing. I was alone for like the second month in a row because I have an essential worker. So I mean, I was going stir crazy, and then fried green tomatoes was on. And I was like, you know what? I've never tried to make wrap myself in saran wrap and make this dress that Kathy bakes.
I mean,
it didn't work out for me. It was very hot.
It was very well. Yeah, it's saran wrap. Duh. But I think it worked out well for you.
It did not.
I'm gonna say not as well as Kathy because
No.
Kathy's like up here, and not that you're down here. You're no. Kathy's up here.
It's Kathy.
Hendrix is here, but it's Kathy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's like.
Thanks for reminding me of that dark time of baking myself like a honey ham.
I love you.
During the pandemic.
You're one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Ditto.
I thought you had done it like for some reason. I don't remember why. For Pride.
No, it was just sheer mental breakdown and boredom. So
well,
I have nothing else.
That shit happens. You know, COVID, like, I've been talking about this in a great deal with a lot of my friends lately, where we're trying to remember when we've done certain things, and we can't remember anything anymore because 2020 just feels like a year that disappeared. Nothing. Like, it was like, I think we did that in 2018. What was that? Idea. A year ago? Oh, no, it was 3.
Yeah.
What the actual hell? Like, I don't even know, y'all. Anyway, so I don't know what I did last year. I take no part in owning up to anything I did last year either.
I own up to none of it.
Yeah, exactly. Normally I own up to all of my shit. This time, nope, not for COVID. COVID me was a different me.
It was a different me.
It was a different me.
Or was it the real, authentic?
No.
No. Like if you were thrown to the woods.
Oh, I could survive in the woods better than I survived COVID. I was a Girl Scout, baby.
Oh, you were. You love being a Girl Scout.
I do love being a Girl Scout. Yeah. I have a membership for life, lifetime membership to the Girl Scouts of the United States. If I ever have a little girl, I'm going to force her into it, too. And she's going to love it and adore it. It'll be fine.
Well, she won't, but I'll be there to ask her on the side and be like, are you sure you want to do this? Okay.
Y'all, I'm looking at the video. How poofy are my sleeves on camera? Are they super?
Like it. I'm here for it. I'm here for the sleeves.
Woo-woo. Okay. Anywho, side note. What else do we have before we go on our first break? Anything? Oh.
Well, there was this one news story, and since today it's Men's Health Month and also week, and
yes,
it's
Father's Day coming up, and we've got the International Men's Health Week is the 14th.
I found just a really funny, fortunate thing that happened to a man.
I haven't heard this.
This is current news. A Massachusetts lobster diver survived being swallowed up and then spat back out by a humpback whale.
Holy cow.
Giving him about 40 surreal seconds in the mouth of a large marine animal.
Who was that, Jeremiah or
Jonah.
Jonah. There it is, Jonah.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that his name?
Because that'd be really right, that'd be weird.
Really apropos if that was his name.
Okay, but like what are you thinking whenever you're inside a whale? Like, what is actually happening?
I mean, Pinocchio survived in the whale, and Geppetto, and Jonah. Are these real people? No.
Well, I'm sure, whatever about Jonah.
But maybe now with this story, maybe that gives credence to these other stories that they could have really happened.
Right. This is just the extra evidence.
Yeah, a humpback whale.
I don't ever want to be swallowed by.
I thought humpback whales had the filter, the plankton teeth.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look up humpback whales now because I didn't think they had the
It's one lucky man.
Yeah.
Like, is he gonna need a therapist after that, or is he just like, man, like?
I mean,
or he's on the other side of like, that was kind of cool.
I don't know.
We don't know.
Maybe a little bit of both. Like, it is really cool. But at the same time, would I want to do it again? Like, he's probably gonna be like, no. Like that was cool. I lived to tell the tale.
I'm trying to think of something that's terrifying, but that is kind of cool that I survived. Because I know I have something back there, but I can't think of it. But...
Yeah, no, I don't have anything. I mean, I almost died in a drowning, but that's not cool. I mean, that's
not cool.
Yeah,
No,
that's a lot of
way
people.
terrifying. Yeah.
I mean, my brother tried to kill me, and it's fine. In that event, I was in on a sailboat catamaran, so with the net.
Mm-hmm. I lived on a catamaran.
Nice. And it flipped over. I was wearing a life jacket, and I was fighting to come out from under it. And just as I was fighting out, my brother, in his desperation, I think accidentally, I don't know, knowing him, he's not a great brother. So I think accidentally shoved me back underneath. But I made it back out anyway. It was actually my little cousin, because of the life jacket he was wearing, got stuck under there, and my dad had to go underneath, take him out of his life jacket, and pull him out. So he actually definitely came closer to death than I did. But
happy Father's Day to your dad.
Yeah, happy Father's Day,
children.
Pops. He does.
Wow.
And he's a good dad. He's a good grandpa. All the grandkids adore my dad. He'll sometimes be like, I don't know why they like me. I don't understand.
Your pop.
I just
People
kind
love
of
pop.
ignore them sometimes, or tell them to go away, and they think it's funny, and we'll start chasing them around. But yeah, my little sister's daughter Jasmine is she owns him. I owned him for a long time though, Jasmine. So I had him first, honey. He was my daddy. He's your granddaddy. He's fine.
He's being rented right now.
He's
not owned.
Until I have a kid. And then maybe that
I
one.
was going to say until you died. That's a lot less morbid.
On that note, so when we come back, we are going to be talking about Father's Day. This episode is all focused on those who identify as male. So when we say men, please know that we do mean that. We're only going to give that reminder a couple times because we don't need to spit it out all the time.
Yeah, we don't need to say it every time. And also, it is penis-centric because there's health things that the penis owners need to know.
Yes, absolutely. So there are parts of it that are about the penis, but then there are parts of it that are, just being a man in general, being male. So we'll be talking about Father's Day stuff, and then we'll also be talking about men's health stuff, and especially men's sexual health and how that pertains. So stick around for our special on the Menskis. We will be right back with Sex on the Edge with Jen and Hen on Edge Radio TV.
Aren't you tired of not getting what you want in bed?
Are you ready to spice things up behind those closed doors?
Woo! We're here for you every hump day at 7 p.m.
This is Sex on the Edge with Jen and Hen. I'm Jennifer Reeves.
And I'm Hendrik Scott, and we are professional licensed sex therapists.
So remember to watch us Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Edge Radio TV, just in time for sexy time.
Hey guys, we're back. This is Sex on the Edge with Jen and Hen on Edge Radio TV.
Woo!
Welcome.
Welcome.
Today we're here to talk to you about men's health.
Yeah. This is, we get a lot of questions from men about like, how can I get her to want more sex? So we're going to hit that up a little bit, but really we're going to talk first about just men's sexual health in general, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And so we'll start with like the book of the month.
Yes, I love this book.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it. This is my favorite book to suggest to not just men, but their partners to read, to get a better understanding of men's sexual health. Anyway, it's called The New Male Sexuality by Bernie Zilbergeld. So that's our book of the month, and highly recommend it. Like the men that I do recommend it to, and they come back and they read it, they're like, oh my God, I wish I had read this when I was younger. I mean, last week we talked about sex education. This is definitely a sex education book for men, and again for their partners to understand, because there's so much misinformation out there.
Yeah, so this will be a lot of stuff that we hear, a lot of clients that come in, like things that we deal with as sex therapists or couples therapists with males.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. All of these things that we're talking about, we have seen.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Well, a lot of what we do is, I mean, of course there's therapy involved and there's exercises involved, but it's breaking myths, because if you think something that's completely untrue, that's going to be a hindrance in you going forward and moving forward and living your best life.
Right. And I mean, y'all, these are myths that you're not the only one that believes them. Your partner isn't the only one that believes them. These are such frequent myths that we have to bust, because that's just how often they're perpetuated in society. So we'll start with your favorite person wrote the article we're going to kind of reference. She loves Dr. Chris Donahue.
I do not. I mean, I don't hate him.
I know.
No, don't drag him.
We're
not here to drag people.
No, I had a crush on Dr. Chris Donahue for a long time. He was like
I just have my favorite.
I was going to say, yours was Leigh Miller.
Yeah.
Yours is Leigh Miller.
No, David Leigh.
Leigh Miller, why do these men have like...
And Joe Court.
Joe Court. I mean...
Who's my friend now? Anyway. So, start with number one. What do we want to tackle first?
I don't know. You distracted me with Joe Court being your friend. I'm jealous. Joe, I'm coming after you. You're going to be my friend forever and ever.
What do we want to start with?
I don't know. I got distracted. I did not have Dr. Pepper today.
Number one, we'll go with the list. Men should be ready, willing, and able to go whenever and wherever.
Yeah, no. And this becomes a problem, because the people that believe this, the men that believe this, have such shame about when they're not. And we will talk about erectile disappointments as we go along in this list, and other aspects to this. But their partners believe this. And when your partner believes this, they end up, well, then it must be something wrong with me. Yes. I'm unattractive. I don't feel good. Maybe I smell. And
yes, because the myth for women is that their attractiveness is tied to how attracted a man is to them.
Correct.
Correct.
Well, and that myth of, honey, if he ain't fucking you, he's fucking somebody.
Yeah.
No.
Like
no.
It doesn't work for either gender.
No.
Like, especially when they're married. Like, there's a lot of accusations going on that just aren't true.
Yes. So I definitely have to work like with both when I see this couple that comes to, and this.
Yeah. And let me be very clear, and I want to say this very clearly. Healthy erections don't always work.
Yeah.
This is not a disorder. It is a natural variation.
Yes, that is one of my favorite sentences in that article that Dr. Donahue wrote. It's not a disorder. I wish we could take it out of the DSM. I think it's dumb that it's in the DSM at this point. It's a difficulty, and we like. I get it. It creates emotion because we have this myth about it.
But generally, sex therapists like to call it erectile disappointments, not erectile dysfunction, because you're not dysfunctioning if you're not 100%. We're not operating at 100% all the time.
Yeah,
our minds aren't, our emotions aren't, our bodies aren't.
Yes,
it's okay.
But my experience has been, so I can only speak to my experience, not personal, professional. But let's make that clarification there, is that when men come into my office, all it has taken, because of the societal myth about it, is one time for their erection to not do what they want it to do.
Yeah.
And then it creates this mental thing, primarily, again, because of the societal myth that I should be hard as a rock all the time.
Yeah.
And if I'm not, there's something wrong.
Oh, and what he also talks about that I love, he goes, if you're introduced to your most powerful self, which is adolescence, testosterone, you're at your peak performance, and that is and you didn't do anything to get it. Like, you didn't work for it. It just happened. That's going to be your expectation for life. So it is unfortunate that men have to start with the best case scenario generally and then kind of decline naturally over time. So I get there's part of a grieving process of what it was like.
Right.
And then the expectation that that's what it's always going to be like. And if it's not at top peak performance, then somehow you must be messed up.
I will say what's interesting is I don't know if I'm going to stop playing with that pen. I don't know if this is a new thing or if it's always been this way and we're just seeing this, but I know, especially when I first became a sex therapist, my lack of understanding told me that only the older men struggle with erectile difficulties. And when I had an influx of 20-somethings and 30-somethings that are like, so I'm assuming like that's been the case forever and ever, and they just haven't talked about it until, you got to get that prostate checked out, and if that's a problem, or your testosterone's going to drop as you get older.
He talks about it in the book of like, yes, you can expect it to be different in your 20s.
Yeah.
You are not going to be 16. And whenever I say peak performance, I'm not talking sexually with a partner. You are not at peak. And also sex is not a performance, but you are not at peak love making, shall we, with a partner. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that your penis is operating at,
at that age, it's got a little bit more of a mind of its own sometimes.
The oomph that it has.
Yeah, because there's always those jokes about the trapper keeper. Am I too old? Kids today don't have trapper keepers.
They don't have trapper keepers. They have laptops. Or whatever.
My trapper keeper had Lisa Frank on it, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
Rainbows and unicorns.
All of ours did.
She was all about gay pride before she knew it.
Yeah.
I don't think she knew it then. I really don't. Anyway, so yes, ready, willing, whenever able, and erectile difficulties or disappointments.
Yeah.
Not dysfunction, not disorders, whatever. Number two, men never fake orgasms.
Yeah, they do. If you have the expectation to quote unquote perform all the time, of course you're gonna fake something.
Yeah, we did a faking orgasm, so we hit on that a little bit, but yeah, I wanted to bring it back and make sure that we hit like guys fake.
We did make sure to say it in that one, but we just wanted to make sure to say it again.
Yeah. And this is another one we say all the time, but men are allowed to say no.
Absolutely.
And they're allowed to say, like, they're allowed to say no.
Yeah.
You have autonomy of your body. You are allowed to say no. If you do not consent and you end up having, that person has sex with you, that's called rape. And yes, guys, like, you can still get an erection and be raped.
Yep.
Like, that happens.
Yeah, it does.
Happens. Just saying. Next one.
Men with low desire.
This occurs.
I mean, some people just don't have they're just not driven by, I want to bang something.
Yeah.
Or men can also be demisexual, where they need to feel romantic feelings in order to have a sexual relationship with a person.
Yeah, or sapiosexual, where they need to have intelligent conversation in order to want to have sex with somebody.
I'm still not putting that up there because it's really, it's an elitist kind of thing to say. And also, no one died for being a sapiosexual, and a lot of people have died for being homosexual.
Have they died for being demisexual, though? I'm comparing it to demisexuals, not
I don't know.
homosexuals.
I'm like not here for it. It seems elitist to me.
I'm a sapiosexual, so it's fine. I'm elitist. But that being said, like, it's not that you you have to have gone to school or shit like that. Like, but you have to be able to hold a conversation with me.
Oh, for sure.
That's all that sapiosexual means. Yes, it says intelligence, but if you talk to them, it's more about like, are you intelligent in something that you like? I've got to see that you're passionate about something.
Yeah.
Even if it's soccer, and I don't give a shit about soccer. If I see you're passionate about soccer, that shit turns me on because you can talk about it and you can have an intelligent conversation about soccer.
Yeah.
It's weird. Anyway, moving on. Guess what, guys? There are asexual men out there.
Yeah, there are.
Like, they exist. So, that's a thing.
Yeah, some men just genuinely, and not out of low T or whatever, they just genuinely don't have a drive for it. They're fine. They've gotten checked out. They're functioning. They're just like, I'm asexual.
Yeah.
Not my bag.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's a sexuality. That's their sexuality, and that is their right. Nobody gets to take that away.
Another one which I found. I wrote, male sexuality is not fluid.
Is not fluid?
Men are not as allowed, quote unquote, to be flexible in their sexual orientation.
You're saying that's the myth.
Yes.
The reality is that absolutely.
Yes, human beings are sexually fluid.
Yes, absolutely.
There are straight males that have had sex with males and they wouldn't consider themselves gay.
Correct.
They were just like, I'll try it.
Yeah. Joe Court writes a lot about that. Like, that's one of his favorite subject matters is like, yes, absolutely, there are heterosexual men that have had sex with other men, and it doesn't mean they're homosexual.
Yeah.
And then there's like, he used a term the other day, speaking of fluid, heterofluid and homofluid. Did you see that? He posted about that. I can't remember.
I've always said heteroflexible, but if he's saying heterofluid, I like that too.
Maybe he said flexible. I don't know. It was an FL word.
It was an FL word.
It was an FL. Anyway, on that note, so we're going to take our next break, and I'm going to go look that up because I'm going to be curious, and when I come back, I'll let you know if Joe Court said heterofluid or heteroflexible. I would like to be flexible. When we come back, we'll continue to talk about male sexuality, common myths, and men's sexual health. Oh Jesus,
she's got it.
Men's sexual health issues. So stay tuned. We will be back shortly with Sex on the Edge with Jen and Hin on Edge Radio TV.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
Edge Radio TV is holding auditions for new show hosts. Are you a subject matter expert, professional, influencer, book author, thought leader, or business owner with an educational or motivational platform? Then we want to meet you. Send a link of some of your work to edgeradio20@gmail.com and be sure to put audition in the subject line. Join the Edge Radio TV family. Edge TV, because truth still matters.
Hey guys, welcome back to Sex on the Edge with Jen and Him. Woo woo! We have been talking about the Menskies today. I like to say Menskies. And that is for all those that identify as male. We talked about busting some male sexual myths. All of them seem to be under the umbrella of men should be ready, willing, and able to go whenever, wherever, and that being the major myth. So some other things that I wanted to make sure we hit is the different components that go into turning a man on, or when he's feeling in the mood, or all of the, the pieces of male sexuality, if you will.
Right, because if we think we just show up, take off all our clothes, and boom, bang, bing.
That's not how it happens?
Yeah. Like midnight,
Just
some,
kidding. Just
not
kidding.
all.
Just
Again,
kidding.
we're
I'm
not
kidding.
all.
I'm kidding.
Again, but some men might be unaware of what their turn-ons on, or what the components of their own sexual health, and how to make them at their most sexually active or available. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you want to say it?
Yeah, so all of that. All of all of the above. I remember those tests.
We're talking about the D today. Nice.
Ooh, way to bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so one of the major factors that goes into sexuality in general, but it's men too, is stress levels. Like, there's a lot of people that sex does alleviate stress, but I tend to view it as, for a lot of people it can, but even for those people, when you reach a threshold of, like, there's a point in which, like, I'm just too damn stressed, and it's just the furthest thing from my mind. I don't want it. I'm not there.
Yeah. You know what I loved in the book, the example he gave? He said, because he's a sex therapist, this author, which
Zilbergeld. R.I.P. He died in 2002. So that's how old this book is, but still pertinent. And that's what's crazy.
The data's dated. Like, we have new data, but it's what anyway.
Yeah.
But he had a client show up like at 8 a.m. or some crazy shit, and was like, I have to see you now, right now. And he's like, what, what's going on? Sure, whatever. So come in. And he's like, I couldn't get hard last night. And he starts crying.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, like, how often has this happened? And he goes, just last night. And he goes, I just don't understand. And he goes, well, what happened the week before? And he goes, well, I lost my job of 15 years, but that doesn't have anything to do with it.
Honey.
It was like, oh, man, like, you're devastated. And then he was like, well, did you love your job? He goes, it was my whole identity. And I was like,
holy shit.
Man,
yeah.
I know. I was like, I feel so bad for this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I would have a hard time being like, oh, honey, for real, like, this, it does have everything to do with this.
But he was, what brought him to therapy for the first time ever was not getting a hard on. Not that he lost his identity in this terrible job and all money.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if we lose our money and able to provide for ourselves and our family, and of course he had a family, I was like, you're carrying the weight of the world, bro.
For real.
Whew, that would hit hard.
Yeah. Oh, I can see why.
Man.
Oh my goodness. So one of the next things that plays a role is if you're hungry or if you're full. Like food, guys. Yeah. Food and alcohol. I mean, they're not the same thing, but I forgot to put that on the list. So we're going to throw alcohol and drugs in there too. It's all of, you can be too high. I mean, you can be too drunk. You can also, like, I know you can feel full and you just don't want to. When your belly is heavy, like, men feel the same way. It's not just women that feel that way.
Seriously, if I'm hungry, like, don't talk to me.
Oh God, no. Hanger is the realest thing.
That's for all the genders.
Yeah, I worked at a group home for adolescent teenagers, and they would know. If I came in and I was growling or whatever, they would be like, Miss, when was the last time you ate? And I was like, you're right. And they were like, lock yourself in your office and go eat a couple of bars because you're being a bitch. And I would say, don't call me a bitch, but you're right. I'll be back. It was lots of fun. I love that job. Really, I love my girls.
But yes, and referring to drugs or nicotine and alcohol, what chemicals you are putting in your body will affect your body parts.
Totally.
Like, I don't know why people you have that couple of drinks, but really, are you going to have like the best sex of your life? It might have loosened you up, but you also might have dulled the sensations in your body.
Old whiskey dick, which happens to women too.
Sure.
Not just men.
Yeah. But I think he said there is a decrease in testosterone and an increase in like estrogen whenever you're like a lifetime alcoholic. It's going to affect you long term.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. And then when people stop drinking, holy cow. Or when they stop doing drugs and alcohol, like that plays. I see so many clients that are working on being sober and their sex drive plummets.
Yeah.
Plummets. So
and
that's
the anxiety, because if you've had sex drunk or high for 20 years,
Yep.
it is terrifying to think about having sober sex.
Yep, absolutely. Anywho, body image.
Yes.
Dude, men focus on their bodies too. Men also think that they're too hairy, too bald, too short, too fat, too thin, too not muscular enough, too muscular maybe.
Yeah.
Men worry about that too. Like, we talk about body positivity in the women's movement, but that happens from there. It's out there for men as well.
Yeah. And I feel like the gay community is hyper aware of body image issues because gay males and drug addiction, eating disorders, all surrounding the feelings of body image, like what they do to each other, is very well talked about in our community, and we're very well aware of it. And it's just so nasty. It's so nasty to watch.
Yeah.
But with hetero males, they're much more low key about it, or they're not going to talk about it
Right.
out in the
I
open
agree.
like we would.
I agree.
Yeah.
They might occasionally, like I've known a couple of guys who've occasionally plastered up a picture of Ryan Reynolds as their like muse of what they want to look like while they're working out. Maybe they jack off to him. Wouldn't surprise me. It's okay. See, hetero flexible. Speaking of, the answer was Joe called it hetero flexible, sexually fluid male. So she was technically correct, but he did say the word fluid in there, and that's what threw me off.
So then we were
Anyway.
both right.
Yeah, sort of. She was more right. It's okay. I can lose. Another thing that goes into sexuality is being tired.
Y'all.
I mean, y'all, this is legit. And can we say how tired we've been during COVID? I mean, I know it's beating a dead horse in the mouth. Is that phrase still okay to say, or is that become like?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
No
not sure.
horses were harmed in the making of that comment. And then of course, like, guess what? Guys are allowed to just not be in the mood.
Yeah.
They're
just not in the mood.
They're just not in the mood.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, you know. Anywho, some other common myths are, of course, that sex is only penetrative. That's not true. I know we say that all the time, which is why I'm just going to buzz through that. Another one, men just want sex and don't want an emotional connection. We talked about the demisexual,
Some do,
and
some don't.
even just because even if you're not a demisexual, it doesn't mean that you don't want an emotional connection.
Yeah.
Sexual anatomy is genitals only. No. Let's see, what else was there in these? Men want sex. All men are tops when we're talking about gay sex or even heterosexual sex.
No, heterosexual sex. Because heterosexual males can also be, like, they can like the bottom and like the woman to be on top.
Yeah.
Or just not like to be completely in control all the time, or be expected to be the one to initiate all the time, or be expected to be the one to just take control of the whole thing. Actually, I kind of more often hear the opposite of like, God, like we want some work to be done on the other end. Like, it shouldn't just all be up to the males in the heterosexual relationship to start the sexual contact.
Right. Agreed.
And
like
they
that's
don't
what he
want
said.
that
Some men are passive, some don't initiate sex, and some have a totally receptive sexuality. Not all men are tops or assertive with sex and arousal. One's gender expression does not promise or dictate their sexuality. So, yeah. It's all about being authentic and communicating.
You do you, boo.
You do you, boo, and talk about it with your partners.
Yeah.
We talked about that one. Erections are not required for sex. The myth is that they are. They're not. And if you don't stay or get erect when you want, then you must have a dysfunction. We already talked about that. So, we busted those myths, if you've been paying attention. Some other common, I wanted to make sure we talked about this, some other common sexual men's health issues that you may not be aware of, that are more on the medical side of life.
Yeah.
So these are a little bit more penis and testicular focused.
Yeah.
But low testosterone, although that does affect everybody. The female gender also has testosterone that does affect their sex drive. So testosterone affects everybody of all genders.
But one easy way for you to know if it's low testosterone, because people just, they come in all the time and they're like, I don't even know how to think about it or go forward with it. And I'm like, I got you, boo. I got you. It's, do you even have desire to have sex?
Yeah.
Because it might not be low T if you still have the desire to have sex or you're still masturbating.
Right.
If you do not masturbate, you do not have sex, and you have no drive for it, I would go straight to medical.
Yeah.
Like,
Although I don't know,
easy.
I have yet to meet a male who has only medical.
Yeah.
Because again, society and the myths that they perpetuate,
Sure.
even if it starts out as a medical issue, it ends up screwing with the head and becomes a mental issue as well. So I will say that. Prostate and testicular cancer, as well as other prostate issues, like that's going to create a lower sex drive or like potential issues with testosterone or pain disorders or other, the ability to get erect or stay erect or to have an ejaculation.
Yeah.
All of that plays a role.
We know you're scared to go get checked out, but we all got to do it at some point.
Get it checked out. One of the other key things that I tell men too, because this relates, is how often are you waking up with an erection? When you start to wake up, like in the morning, not after a nap, although that can be part of it, but I mean like in the morning when you've been asleep, because on average, the male has, I think, 6 to 7 or 7 to 8 erections while you're sleeping. So when you have healthy testosterone, healthy prostates, healthy testicles, you are more likely to wake up more frequently with an erection. Also doesn't mean you want to have sex necessarily. It's just part of your body's natural thing. So if you find that you're waking up less, definitely go get checked out. So, another one. This one's fun.
1 minute.
I know. Peyronie's disease. You may not have ever heard of this. It's more common than people think. They just don't know the terminology. But it's when the penis is crooked.
Yes.
And so that creates pain or difficulty.
It's more than curved.
Yes.
Crooked.
Yes. We don't mean the ones that are just kind of, I tilt a little to the left or a little to the right. No, this is a full-on crookedness.
And it's painful.
It's very painful. And then one of the last ones is a very common one that people aren't aware of is this is primarily with uncircumcised men, where they get fissures in the foreskin because they never learned as a child that when you go pee or even when you masturbate, you need to work on stretching that foreskin out. And if you don't, it doesn't stretch. So whenever you start to get erect, it creates tears, it creates fissures.
It doesn't learn to be elastic,
yes,
if you will.
Yes. And a lot of men end up having to get a slight circumcision later on in life, which, as we know, is a little bit more painful, a little bit more harder to heal from. Yeah. So any sort of sexual pain is never okay. We've said this on when we've talked about women. We mean it for men as well. If pain is if masturbation or sex is painful or an erection is painful, go to a doctor.
Seek help, please.
Yeah. So, we're going to pause there for our last break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how to seek help for sexual issues. And if we have time, maybe talk a little bit about how to talk to children about sex as you daddies, fathers. Don't let your babies grow up to be cowgirls or cowboys. Talk to them about sex, all of them. We'll be right back with Sex on the Edge with Jen and Hen on Edge Radio TV.
When people stop talking to each other, society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
The Natural Nation Network is really about taking control of your health physically, spiritually, emotionally, even intellectually, because there's so much out there in misinformation. There's a lot of people now that are suffering from all sorts of diseases that they really wouldn't have to suffer for if they had better information. And that's what we're here to do. Provide information that can save lives.
The mind and the body are totally connected.
Health can be really serious, and sometimes we just have to lighten it up a little bit while we're still providing substantive information.
And my sort of mantra on the salsa dance floor is kind of similar. I tell somebody, if you make a mistake twice, it becomes a move. Okay?
Tune into Natural Nation every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Hey guys, we're back with Sex on the Edge with Jen and Hen with Edge Radio TV. I've been having a good time.
Yeah,
We've
like
been
a party.
Yeah, we have been discussing men's sexual health,
Yeah,
busting some myths,
we're all about the dicks today.
all about the dicks.
Arr.
Wow.
I'm always all about the dicks, so it's fine.
I wish we had blow up penises. Like we really,
We failed you.
we failed you.
We
with this.
failed you
Yeah.
guys.
How can you talk about a penis without having a blow up penis? And there's like blow up clitorises now. It's great. Anyway, so we're going to lead
Do people
into.
even know what the clitoris looks like? Like, if we were to bring a blow-up clitoris on the stage, would they readily recognize that it's
I
a
don't
clit?
know. I mean, we've already showed it on our show, so.
Yeah, but that was like months ago
Yeah.
at this point. Anywho,
So we've been telling you about sexual health issues or about myths that need to be busted, but
Word.
we need to tell you how to seek help for said sexual health issues.
yeah.
Because generally just something's wrong and then you're like, now what do I do?
And don't wait. Like, if you're concerned about it, don't let it become more mental so that you can go get it checked out. Because 7 times out of 10, I'm arbitrarily making up a number. I want to say 9 times out of 10, it's probably not as big of a deal as you think that it is, and just needs a little tweaking or whatever the case may be, or a little bit of normalizing, as is the term in the therapy world, which I hate that term, but it's what we have.
Yeah.
Anywho. So, number 1, review how your physician or current psychotherapist may be with discussing sexuality, and do not be afraid to ask for referrals or seek alternative people. Yeah, if your doctor isn't giving you the answer, we talked about this for women too, but if your doctor's blowing you off or not giving you the answers that you want or need, rather, not want but need, go somewhere else.
Or just says Viagra.
Oh,
like
no.
Viagra, just like birth control with women, Viagra is not the answer and end all be all for.
Neither is, even if you have low T, I strongly suggest not immediately jumping into taking testosterone.
Yeah.
There are other natural ways to increase testosterone. Come see me as your therapist and I'll let you know what they are. Just kidding. Well, I'm not going to tell you on the show. You do have to come see me as a therapist.
But yes, and you might love your doctor. You might love your current therapist. You can ask them for referrals. We are used to giving referrals.
Yes.
Like if somebody does something that's not my niche and somebody's like, hey, I really have this issue, but it's not really your thing. Do you know anybody? I will gladly, I won't go way out of my way to find it for you. But if I have the information on hand, I'm like, sure, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, please.
Yeah, and you can see more than one therapist as long as it's about 2 different issues. So it's not going to be running any ethical grounds if you're dealing with anxiety over here, but erectile disappointment with one of us or something.
Yeah.
So anyhow, next,
review your sexual history. Have it ready.
Yeah.
Because your doctor, we are your sex therapist. We're going to want your sexual history.
All of it.
And don't try to be pretty about it. Don't try to.
No, we're not judging you. I don't
give
care
a
how
shit.
many partners you've had. I don't care if you've had 0 partners.
Yeah.
Or if you've had
I don't care.
200 and 1,000 partners.
I literally do not care
don't
and
care.
have no judgments about it.
What I want to know is how you feel about it, and what are the things that you're satisfied with and happy with. What do you seek as pleasure? What's pleasurable to you, and what's not pleasurable to you?
Yeah.
And
also things
all of
like,
that.
were you kicked really hard in the balls as a kid?
Oh yeah.
Or 5 years ago, or like these are
yeah.
important things.
Or are you missing a testicle?
Yeah.
Were you born without one, or was there a medical concern and they ended up having to take one out? Or even if one didn't descend and you have to get surgery to go pull it down, like that can be traumatizing.
Sure.
Just saying.
Yeah.
It's happened more than once. Do not allow fear of looking stupid to not disclose everything.
You don't look stupid. It's just normal. You haven't an average sexual history, or if you don't, but there is no real normal. Everyone's doing things.
Everyone's doing things.
We're just doing things.
Like stuffed animals when you're a child, or showers when you're a child. Everyone's doing
things. Yeah.
You do things.
Don't be worried about looking stupid.
Yeah.
We're not thinking that. It's not on my radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you learn about sex? That's another. I forgot about that one in the history.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, I will always suggest this, but suggest bringing your partner, because guess what?
Please bring your partner. Because we need to know, if they are the thorn in the side, we can be there to be like, hey.
If they're adding that extra shame, I can't tell you how many times I've had to be like, stop turning away when there's an erectile disappointment. Turn towards each other. Because I get, again, the other person feels rejected and everything else.
Unattractive.
So bring them in, come in. We will talk to both of you, or all 3 of you, or all 10 of you. I don't care.
Also, use the memory of your partner. There could be things that are really important and your partner remembers.
Yeah.
That's happened a lot.
For real. And then the next one.
Get copies of your test results, y'all. Just get them. Just get copies.
Yeah.
It'll make your life a lot easier.
True story.
Yeah. To send, if you have to go to a million doctors, they just have it ready. Have it on hand. It helps.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Accurate. And then, of course, consider sex therapy. I'm not going to read the rest of that, because it's never only a medical issue.
Yeah.
I don't know why Bernie would ever write that. Bernie, you let me down on that statement, honey child.
But he presented it in the perfect world of, if you and your partner you love each other, there is no name calling, there is no fear of abandonment. You're both just like, hey man, this has just been an issue. And it literally is just low testosterone, which he says he has seen. But we're talking it's very slim. It's a very slim chance that you would live in this perfect relationship with a perfect, all the perfect variables for this to just be just low T.
Yeah. So with all of that, we move into dads, like how to talk to your children about sex. And initially, I think somewhere in the Bernie book is how to talk to sons, and I changed that. I reject that to how to talk to children, because it should not be. We live in this dynamic where most of the couples still today tend to be, if you're a mom, you talk to your daughters about sex. If you're a dad, you talk to your sons about sex. And to me, I should very little things in life, but this is one of those things I'm going to should all over a little bit. And that is, you should both be talking to both and all and whomever gender, whatever your children identify as, about sex.
Yeah, and dad, if your only sex education is to your daughter, to your son, wear a condom, and to your daughter, just don't have sex or I'll kill them.
Yeah.
That is not a sex education.
No, yeah, true. If you don't know how to talk to them, bring them to a sex therapist that specializes in sex education with children. It's not me, unless they're a teenager that is dealing with sexual and gender diversity. Like that community, I'll only work with kids that are there. Otherwise, I don't work with kids. But there are sex therapists out there that do specialize in working with parents and how to talk to your kids about sex. They're there. Yeah. I don't think you're one of them either, but
I have.
Okay.
I have. I take it on a case by case.
I'll talk to parents about how to talk to kids. I just won't talk to the kids themselves.
Yeah, it's a case by case basis for me.
But yeah, like you want to use correct terminology. You want to talk about all the facets. You do get to impart your own morals and values, but just don't do it in a shameful way or in an abstinence only way. Like we've shown time and time again, study after study, that doesn't work.
Yep.
So be real, be honest. And if they ask you, did you wait till you were married and you didn't? Be real, be honest. They're gonna find out the truth eventually, and then know that you lied to them.
Yeah.
And you don't lie to your kids either. Like, sorry, but don't. Anywho, anything else about that? So be honest with them, be direct with them, teach them the right words. Don't threaten to have a gun in your lap the first time your daughter brings home a guy. Like that's
If that's y'all's culture and then y'all, it's like a funny thing for you, sure. Just don't stop it there. I'm just saying, please extend the education from that.
my brother once told me when we were arguing about my ex-husband, that I just thought, brothers were supposed to hate their little sisters' partners, and I was like, no, actually.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
I would prefer that my partner gets along with my entire family, including my dad and my brother. But, because you have this misogynistic mentality, he does. His much younger, his son was allowed to date way before his daughter was. And they were like 3 or 4 years difference. So his son was dating while his little daughter was not allowed to. Anyway, besides the point. The point is, teach them.
Teach your kids. Be honest with them.
Be honest.
And by the way, just side notes on this book. It is there. The new male sexuality. While I love it, it is definitely dated.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely some stuff where I'm like, oh, it's definitely not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Or just the research, like the numbers aren't exactly accurate for now. It just doesn't mean that it's not still helpful. Like read it with a grain of salt. Or if you're reading the first 2 chapters, take it with a grain of salt. It does not mean right now in 2021. We do know that the world has rapidly changed.
Absolutely. But there is still, to me, so much good information, so much myth busting, so much like taking away from that fantasy model and putting it into like, this is what do you derive pleasure from? What does your partner derive pleasure from? And communicate about it is really the message that he sends out there.
Even if you're a gay male, you can still read it. It is very like hetero focused.
It is.
But again, like, the information is valuable and necessary.
Yeah.
With that being said, sex position of the week.
Sex position of the week.
All right.
Let me get that pulled up and
I'm here for it.
Shake it, baby. And we got the pole position. How many of our viewers have a pole just randomly in your bedroom or in your house? I want to know.
Yeah.
You can use your bedpost.
Most of my friends used to have poles, and now they have children. They have taken them out, and I hate you all for it.
By extension, I have to hate what she hates, right? So I hate you too. Just kidding. I don't know you. I do have a couple of friends that do have poles as well.
Anyway,
they don't have kids, so they probably still have them up somewhere.
Okay, we're going to your friend's house.
And they have their swings up somewhere, I'm sure, too. Anyway, so pole position looks like this, and then the woman supports herself on a pole leaning forward. The man enters from a standing position. I really wanted to see her legs like up and like going behind him, almost like a Superman, and holding onto the pole.
I wonder if that's actually called a Superman. I wonder if that comes up one day. We'll have to remember this right now.
Yeah, and see if there's a Superman.
And also call your friends and see if they still have a pole. Like, I'm interested now.
Yeah, I know they still have a pole.
I know mine have taken them down. Assholes.
I don't know if they put it up. No, I'm pretty sure it's up. I don't know when the last time they used it was. Anyway, I don't need to know that. So that's the sex position of the week. If you would like to contact us, if you have questions that you want us to answer on the show or topics that you would like us to discuss on the show, reach out to us, shoot us a slide into our DMs. Is that weird to say? I don't even know. On Facebook, I'm so old. Facebook and Instagram, Sex Talk with Jen and Hen, or Sex on the Edge, or Sex on the Edge with Jen and Hen, or to to schedule a session with Hendrix or myself, you can find us at Houston Relationship Therapy. So www.houstonrelationshiptherapy.com. Anything to add to that, man?
You got it. You said it.
I'm on fire. Anyway, so next week
Next week is Pride.
All about Pride. As we've said, we will be vomiting rainbows, and Tyler will be back. And then we will be off for a couple of weeks. We'll have a little bit more information about that when we come back after the break. I think we're going to be moving to a new night. So stay tuned for that information.
Lots of changes.
Our loyal viewers, we will have some great information coming at you when we come back from our 2 weeks. But next week is all about the Pride.
Yeah.
All about it. So wear your rainbow next week. We'll be wearing ours. And until then, happy humping.